Alright guys, so I've got my coffee on the go right now, just doing a kind of a look over around the camp area. Gonna need some firewood for later on this evening, and it basically looks clean. I mean, someone did rebuild the fire pit, which is very nice. It's nice and large, but there's no more firewood left here, so I am gonna have to collect some trees out of the forest. I've got the chainsaw, I'll be able to do that. The sun keeps coming out, kind of spotty and whatnot. It is actually starting to clear up in the distance. We got some blue sky opening up. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm going to kick back, relax, enjoy this coffee, and then I'm going to get out the chainsaw, take care of that before it gets too late in the day, because I do have my fishing stuff and I do have a lake right here and I would like to try it. So let's enjoy this, get some work done, and then go fishing. Alright guys, just before I head over to the campfire area and split that wood, these bugs are getting a little bit crazy. I'm getting eaten up, so I have a little hack here. I just finished one of these ginger peach sodas, and I did this in the last episode. If you guys missed that, I'm going to do it again right now, and I'm actually going to explain it a little bit more. You guys can see this. They're starting to swarm. So my mosquito coils that I have left, unfortunately, have been reduced to a whole bunch of smashed up pieces. They don't burn very well like that because they burn really quickly, and this is the only section of the coil that I have left, which is very small. So the rest are just these kind of linear pieces. So what I like to do, and I will mention that these bugs are crazy right now even with the breeze. So what I like to do is take a can and punch a bunch of holes into it. You really don't need to punch the holes, it'll work without it, but I just find it works a little bit better with a couple breather holes in there. And here I just have just a tent peg, popping some holes in here. Now in the bottom of the can I like to ream out a large hole, kind of like a little feeding port. So I'm just going to ram that in there and enlarge it, not to cut myself. So I've got about a dime size hole there, and I've already kind of emptied out this can as much as I can full of liquid. Just take the pieces and just fill the can. Just fill it up with all these broken little pieces. And when you get enough pieces in there, and like I said, these bugs are driving me crazy right now. Oh, especially in my ear, biting me like crazy. I am allergic to these black fly bites, so I swell up quite a bit. And the remedy to that is don't get bitten. So once you get enough in there through the bottom hole, take a torch. Now unfortunately my butane torch is almost empty, so I might be able to get a flame here, I might not. I might have to use the camp stove or a match. Yeah, that's not going to work. So basically light it. Feed a flame through that hole and you'll have a smoking can. And the reason why I like it like this is not only is it top feed, it's going to basically ignite every piece in there. It's going to smoke a lot, but the wind will not accelerate the burn because it's encapsulated in a can, and the holes will just help it burn and just really throw a lot of smoke. You can hang it by the tab, you can pick it up and move it wherever you like. So let's get this thing rocking. Alright guys, I feel like I've got enough wood cut and split ready to light the campfire. Keep in mind I plan on staying up quite late this evening actually. If there's going to be any chance of northern lights out there, if the sky clears up, as you can see it's starting to get a little cloudy. If everything happens, I would like to be awake to actually enjoy it. So, I think I got enough wood. So, before I start cooking supper, the truck is a little high, and where I did install airbags, I could simply just dump the air on that side of the truck, both sides really, and just drop the truck down, and then later on when I go to bed I can actually lift it back up to level it out. Right now I'm using the rocks to level the truck because it's actually exceeding the bag limit of where it should be level. So right now I think I could drop it down, at least get it to a comfort level for cooking, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to do very shortly. Get the stove fired up, start cooking some supper, get the campfire going, more smoke, get these bugs out of here, and enjoy the evening. Alright, so dropping the PSI out of those airbags really leveled out the tailgate and dropped it down low enough. The only issue is the truck is slightly off level because obviously I let the air out of the bag. So later on I'll have to pump it up to level it out on the rock, and that'll help with a pretty simple sleep system. So cooking this evening, I'm going to be doing it right here on the tailgate. I did think about doing it over by the fire, but there are a lot of bugs over there. And if I keep this area smoky, I could do my cooking here, relax, and not burn my firewood during the daytime. That's my plan anyways. So I'm going to get out a canister stove and start cooking up some chicken and probably do some wraps with some hummus. Something very, very simple, relatively quick, and that way I can get out there, fish, get the campfire going, and then kick back and relax in the evening. Alright guys, supper is just about cooked, and I gotta say, it is actually starting to cool off very pleasantly. And I will never complain about that, ever. I love the cool temperatures. So, to explain to you guys what I'm making, I've got some shawarma chicken, already marinated, seasoned. I've got some yellow onion, yellow pepper, red pepper, those are sweet peppers. I then have 4 of these naan breads, which are going to be my wraps. And I've got this chili spiced oil hummus. Never had this one before. It looks really, really good. So I'm going to whip that on top of these naan breads and basically kind of like street food, Indian style tacos. I do have some rice. I don't think I'm going to add the rice. It's looking like a lot of food already. I may hold off on the rice. Boomer has just ate his supper actually off to the side there. I gave him some peppers and a whole bunch of dog food. So he's sniffing around looking for the chicken, but he can't have any because the spice on it. So while this is cooking down, I'm just kind of looking at the clouds. We may get an opening this evening, I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see. With the sun popping out though, I'm actually quite happy to say, with my dirty solar panels, because I have not cleaned them off, I have 400 watts of solar up on the roof, pointing into the sun, spotty every now and then. And I've actually got it plugged into the Jackery right now in the back seat. And it was pulling about 215 to 250 watts on a somewhat cloudy day today. I actually brought that battery, the Jackery 2000 Pro, up 26% already within the last 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. So we still got about another 4 hours of sunlight tracking through here. I may actually be able to get that quite full. We will see. But I am going to cook this up, and I want to enjoy this just before going fishing. And then when I come back from fishing, I would like to light the campfire, kick back, and enjoy a little bit of campfire life. Alright guys, supper was actually really good. Might do that again exactly the same way because it was that good. So before the sun sets, I have yet to throw a line in the water. And I would really like to do that. So I want to get my fishing rod rigged up. Now I do know that there are brook trout in this lake. because I caught one and I lost one right over there, feet away from the truck. Actually the first fish of the season, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to rig up just a spinner. It's kind of at a little bit of a disadvantage right now. This little kind of cove area where I'm at, the wind is blowing this way, and there's a lot of pollen from pine trees and other trees that are kind of, it's a scum on top of the water. Generally, when that happens, it's not really good to fish because the fish don't really seem to like it. Unfortunately, short of walking all the way around the lake, which I'm not going to be doing today, this is what I've got to fish. Now, I don't really think it's going to make much of a difference, but it can and sometimes does. But we'll see. So to start things off, I'm going to be tossing in a single-bladed gold-plated spinner with a small treble hook. I think that's a 16 or a 14. And we'll see how that goes, because it's just as simple as that with brook trout. Usually wild brook trout will bite just about anything. It's a cool day, it's not very hot, so they're not going to be hiding in the shadows or anything like that. A lot of cloud cover right now. It's getting later in the evening. And unfortunately, talking about the northern lights, not really unfortunately for my camping trip because I actually enjoy this part, but what is pushing in this way is a wall of mist, which is going to get really nice and cool, wet, kind of eerie feeling. My 100% most favorite vibe. Reminds me of West Coast, Vancouver Island. And whenever it gets dark and wet and damp and you get that mist wall coming in, you got a hot crackling fire, a nice warm bed. Can't go wrong with that. So let's get this rigged up and let's go toss the line in the water with a little bit of light we have left before we light the campfire. Just had about a 4-inch yellow perch trail that right up to the water. First perch I've seen in this lake. Definitely not surprised that they're in here. Look like a little tiger fish. Oh. I just had a perch on there, he just flopped off. Small guy. Very, very small perch. But they're definitely close to shore. There's a loon that just came up right in front of my lure. he just went under. Well, there's a loon fishing over here. There's got to be fish. Alright guys, so fished for about 45 minutes, zero luck, nothing. Other than 5 or 6 perch coming up, kind of pecking at my lures a little bit. Way too small. We're talking like 4 or 5 inches long, very, very small. So, all the fishing gear's packed up, put away. Everything's clean, ready to get closed up for the evening. I did just air up the driver's side airbag just to level out the truck, so I'm going to be sitting nice and level for sleep tonight. That mist in the background is still rolling across the lake, and I can actually feel the moisture on my hands, so who knows, we might not get a clear shot tonight of the aurora. It wasn't supposed to clear up until later on, so I don't know. My hopes are not high for it, I can tell you that, because there's thunder in the background, and yeah, generally that means a storm rolling in. So I'm going to switch gears and get some of these fire starters, head on over to the fire pit, spark up a campfire. Alright guys, so got the campfire ripping, snapping and crackling, and well, wouldn't you know it, looking straight up, there's a big patch of blue sky, and there's a little bit of a hazy kind of dull sunset happening off in the distance. So I don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, I very rarely look at the weather network. I like to just look out the window and get the instant answer of what is happening, and generally that's the most accurate. So you want to come up? Come on. Come on. Up. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. That mist and that little bit of rain kind of decided to go the opposite direction, I guess, for a moment. We'll have to wait and see, but I got a mound of firewood chopped and split here, and I'm going to enjoy it, especially with this little guy. I did just pull 4 ticks off of Boomer. So, yeah, I'm going to be keeping him out of the grass and out of the woods and kind of lingering in this area. He doesn't like the smoke. As you guys can see, he'll come up, but as soon as the smoke swirls, he doesn't like it. He usually just jumps down, goes off, and lays down. But as soon as this actually starts flaming up with some real nice clean coals and the smoke gets out of here, I'm sure we'll have a decent evening. I want to stay up as late as possible, or at least until the point where I think it's going to happen, the Northern Lights, or it's not going to happen. So we'll just see how the evening goes. But yeah, firewood, campfire, cold brew. Cheers, guys. Let's kick back and enjoy it. Alright guys, so just chilling out here next to the campfire, and I don't know how many times the clouds have rolled in and I basically called it off that it wasn't going to be visible for Northern Lights. Fortunately, the clouds have parted yet again, and it looks like they've actually parted permanently for the night. The moon is up. I've got a half moon up here. I've got a billion stars that are starting to pop in the sky, which is great. We've got a little bit more firewood here. I am going to load it up a little bit and relax here. Not for too long though, because it is dark and I do want to get in the tent and relax with Boomer a little bit. On that, I actually did move the truck forwards, probably about 50 to 60 yards, just because when I look out the side window, I want to be able to see the whole lake and have the best chance possible of seeing the Northern Lights from inside of the tent. That way, if I do see them, I can jump out, get the camera, and start capturing that and sharing it with you guys. So that's going to be my plan anyways. We'll see how that works, but campfire's definitely enjoyable. It's been very, very, very peaceful out here this evening. You guys can hear the crickets like crazy. There has been a couple ATVs way off in the distance here. There's a main trail that goes down. So every now and then I have heard a couple things go by, but no one's come anywhere near. No one's come in, bother me or anything like that. So really, really happy with that. But like I said, I'm going to enjoy the campfire for a little bit more, and then I'm going to head over to the truck. All right, guys, just climbing up into the tent, and I gotta say, the sky is looking very promising. I don't know what's gonna happen with the Northern Lights though, but if anything does happen, I have every solid panel open right now. With all the lights off, I can actually see the stars laying down right up out the window, which is beautiful. I've got the campfire stoked up. I know you guys can't see it way back there, but from inside with all these lights off, I can actually see the campfire. It's right there. I'm not going to sleep. I did that on purpose because I'm going to be sitting here enjoying the campfire from inside while watching a movie. Pretty cool. So I'm going to hunker down for a few moments here, get a movie popped on my phone. I actually brought my Bluetooth speaker with me, so I remember that. And get out of some of these clothing, get my sleeping bag lofted up, and just get comfortable and basically turn in for a little bit. If anything happens with the Northern Lights, I'll bring you guys back, of course, and show you. I'm going to be keeping my eye out probably till about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. If nothing happens, I'm going to call it a night, and I'll see you guys in the morning for coffee. Good morning, guys. It is a sunny and cold, damp, kind of foggy morning today. This fog is pushing off the lake. Last night did not have any luck with the northern lights, unfortunately. I got up in the tent, I had the moon, I had the stars. It was still somewhat early. I looked out the window about 20 minutes later to the lakeside. Complete coverage of fog. Not even clouds, fog. So that tells me if the night was clear, everybody else that was not here got to see them. And sometimes that's just the way it goes. You know, you get these things in your mind, best location, photographic, lake, I wanted the reflection, I wanted the northern lights, expansive view. Got socked in by fog. So, missed it, unfortunately. But we did get to enjoy a beautiful evening out here. The frogs were out, the birds were out, there was a loon calling last night, there was an owl hooting in the woods somewheres last night. Looking out over here this morning, waking up, burnt orange sun just coming up through all that fog and mist, just wisping across the lake. So, thumbs up on that. But the northern lights, unfortunately, we did not get. We will come back to that at another date. I will try and get it on film for you guys. So, waking up this morning, that sun is going to come up out of this fog line very shortly, and it's going to be blazing down here, and it looks like it's going to be probably a pretty warm day. So I'm going to drink up my coffee. The tent last night was beautifully comfortable as usual. However, with all that fog and mist, I really could have used the diesel heater. I used my minus 5 degrees Celsius downfill bag, my sleeping bag last night, and I was warm. But if I unzipped it, that cold air came in. So that tells me it got down to probably about +5, +6 degrees Celsius last night, which is really nice and crisp. That diesel heater would have helped keep that moisture out. So what I did is I slept with all the solid panels open other than this one right here above the tailgate, just to let that breeze come in and whisk it away. It's the only thing you can really do to combat moisture is just allow the air to move it around. So, hot coffee, tailgate, beautiful lakefront view right now. Let's enjoy this. Alright guys, so I'm a little bit halfway packed up, kind of all over the place right now. Just brushed my teeth, just getting things kind of situated in the truck, out of the truck, in the storage boxes. I'm kind of all over the place right now. But finally, the last thing I need to do is pull these rods out, collapse the tent, and yeah, that's basically it. So, no fish this morning. I did fish off camera, a little bit of a secret there. No fish, no northern lights last night, but a beautiful time and great location. So I'm going to get this tent collapsed, get all this stuff back into the truck, and carry on my way. So I'm going to be wrapping the video up here. If you guys have any questions or comments, drop them down below, and be sure to check the link below to my other channel. There is a ton of extra content, all type of build stuff, all types of behind the scenes and how things work and what's going on. Be sure to check that link down below. Also on my Instagram, there's now a little subscription tab where I've been dumping all kinds of boomer related videos, behind the scenes, other content is available on there. So if you guys are interested in that, head on over there. The link is down below as well. And until next time, peace out. I'll see you in the next adventure.